pleasant good afternoon as we get set to bring you match one here from St. Catherine's Multipurpose Center in Belize City, located on the Marine Parade Drive. It will be Nicaragua going up against El Salvador in the first match today. Nicaragua coming in with a 0-1 record, while El Salvador coming in with a 1-1 record. As we just a reminder that Salvador lost that game to Belize on Saturday night. Nicaragua also losing on Saturday night. So that is the matchup in the first match for you today. And once again, it's a pleasure to be here with you, bringing these matches into your living room on TNC10, as we are just about a couple seconds away from the official ceremony, with both teams already lined up. As you can see, the flags of both countries and ushers from St. Catherine's Academy, the females, and we are just a couple seconds away from the ceremony. I just want to take a look at the statistics. As we know, El Salvador played last night and they won. Let's talk a little bit about El Salvador and Rodrigo Chavez, one of the main guy on the El Salvador national team. Last night, he had a monstrous game with 20 spikes, 2 blocks, 2 serve, and a total of 24 points. So he came up big for El Salvador last night. Their second biggest player in that game last night was Franklin Flores. He was a no-show in the game against Belize, but he stepped up last night for El Salvador, and he had 22 spikes, 1 block, or a total of 23 points. Francisco Hernandez, the biggest guy, the outside hitter for El Salvador, he had 19 spikes, and that's his forte, with 2 blocks and 21 points total. So those 3 players once again will have to step up today for El Salvador for them to pull off this victory against Nicaragua. Now in Nicaragua first game, their biggest player was Tito Valdivia, who had 10 spikes for 10 total points, and second was David Mayorga, the outside hitter, with 9 spikes, 1 block, 1 serve, for a total of 11 points. So those are the 2 guys that showed up in their loss for Nicaragua. Nicaragua looking for their first win today. It will be a task against El Salvador. El Salvador was pretty amazing last night in their victory, as they won that game in 3 sets, defeating Honduras in 3 sets. So that was a big win for El Salvador last night, as they found their way in the winning column. No, that was over Panama last night. They went up against Panama and they defeated Panama in 3 sets. So we see that both teams, they are now on the court. I just want to mention, let's listen to the national anthem of Nicaragua. And now the playing national anthem for El Salvador. David Mayorga. He's an outside hitter. Number 17, David Mayorga, outside hitter. Another lethal and potent offensive player for the Nicaragua selection. So it will be an intense matchup here this afternoon. It's the first match of 3 on the card today. The second game will be Guatemala going up against Honduras. That in itself will be an interesting and exciting second match of the day, as we all know that Guatemala in 3 sets last night took out our homeboys. But talking to them, to the Belize national team this morning when we came into the center here, they were telling us that they were very disappointed with the last. They took the last very hard, and today look out for them to come against Panama with something different, and that game will be on 7:30 tonight. So we want you to come once again and fill the center here, St. Catherine's Multipurpose Center, and let's rally behind the Belize national team. But Guatemala, one of the most potent team here in this tournament. They're ranked very high in Central America when it comes to volleyball. They demoralized our national team last night by taking 3 sets against them. So Honduras will be coming in the second game with a 1-1 record, while Guatemala, having the first day off, will be looking for their first win. But Honduras will match up well against Guatemala. But set number 1, El Salvador and Nicaragua, is setting up to be an exciting one, and we don't want you to miss it. So if you're watching, if you're following us at work by way of the internet, we want to say thank you for joining us from your place of work. Internationally, we want to say thank you for choosing TNC 10 on stream and watching the 2016 NICARAGUA World Championship Qualification Tournament. 2 teams from this tournament will be moving on to the championship round that will be held in Italy, and that's where the big guys, they will be waiting in the likes of Canada, USA, Cuba, and others. They will be waiting for the 2 teams that will be advancing out of this tournament. And it's the first time that Belize have the privilege to host a tournament of this magnitude when it comes to volleyball. And so as Belizean, we are very appreciative that NICARAGUA has given us the opportunity to host this tournament, and we are seeing top-notch volleyball played here in this tournament from our Central American counterparts. So what we'll do on that note, we'll take a break. We're about 7 minutes away from the start of today's first match. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we should be at that point of getting the first match started. So we'll take a break, and then we will be right back with Nicaragua and El Salvador.
That deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions. Walk into any one of our central TV and internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
You're watching the National Channel. Don't go anywhere.
How many times have you been away from a TV when there's something on that you want to watch? Or someone's using the only TV in the house and you can't watch your show? Introducing MyTV from Central TV and Internet that puts you in control of your TV time. MyTV is designed with you in mind, whether you're on the go, on break from school, or work, or simply relaxing in your backyard, you can have access to local TV at your fingertips. Never miss a show again. MyTV offers a 24-hour playback feature so you can go back in time to watch your favorite show. This feature also allows you to pause and watch at your convenience. MyTV is available to anyone with internet, wherever they may be. Watching mobile TV has never been easier. Our apps are available on both Google Play and Apple's App Store. MyTV works on most Android and Apple devices, including phones and tablets. Players for computers with Windows 7 and 8 or Apple MacBooks can be downloaded from the following links. With MyTV from Central TV and Internet, you won't be a slave to your TV anymore. You can watch your programs at your own convenience. You don't have to sit around waiting for your program to begin. The playback feature allows you to access 24 hours of programming. Just select a time, and MyTV takes you back to what was showing at that time. MyTV offers select programs, which includes all of Belize's leading local channels, sports, telenovela, kids, and Prime Network channels. Stay tuned in news, talk shows, sporting events, and local programming. It's time to take control. Want MyTV? Just contact your nearest Central TV and Internet office, and our friendly customer service representatives will assist you with the registration process, or simply sign up and register your account through the following link.
As we welcome you back to the St. Catherine's Multipurpose Center, I'm joined here by the president of the Belize Volleyball, Mr. Volleyball Association, Mr. Sharp. I want to say a pleasant good afternoon and thank you for sitting with us for a little bit chit-chatting here as the first match is ready to get started.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you very much. You guys have been doing an excellent job. We've been getting compliments from all over, including from all of Central America and even the US.
Now tell us about this, because we've been saying that this is history for Belize. Never in the history of volleyball has Belize hosted a tournament of this magnitude. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, you know, I've been in sport quite a long time, and we're very proud to put off a function like this. The level of, first of all, the level of competition. This is a World Championship qualification tournament. 2 steps away from the World Championship itself, so you're looking, if you were to compare to football, it would be just 2 steps away from going to the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the next step from here is the Continental Championship, which includes USA, Cuba, Mexico, those top countries. 2 countries from this competition go to that competition. And so it's a very, very high level competition, and as you can see from the volleyball, and especially what we saw of Guatemala last night and the Dominican Republic so far, it's a high level volleyball, and we're very proud to be in a very nice stadium, well dressed, if I may say so myself, and I've been to many tournaments in Central America and the Caribbean, and this is one of the best dressed.
Now tell us some of the challenges that you face in getting this tournament to be hosted here in Belize, and even now that the tournament is on, some of the challenges that you're still facing.
Well, one of the major challenges is, of course, having a facility that meets the technical requirements for a tournament of this nature. And still we were just a tidbit short. For example, at behind the end line, we're supposed to have 6.5 meters, and we ended up at 6.25 meters. Same thing in width, we're supposed to have 5 meters beyond the sideline, and we're at 4.5 meter. But we just could not afford any additional space. And there were some small technical areas that we could not fulfill. So one area is the facility. The next area, of course, is finance. Something like this has, our budget is over $200,000 easily. The support from our major sponsors has been fantastic. I got to say special thank you to those companies that definitely put towards sports, namely Bowen & Bowen, the Radisson, FT Williams, AM Construction. Of course, we can't forget Central Cable Vision or Central Cable and Internet. Simon Kwan, BTB have all done excellent to help us, and many people have provided in kind. Many people have provided even small amounts, but they all add up. But what we're most proud of, Ray, is that we can pull off this level of tournament. We are showing the rest of Central America and the Caribbean and even North America, the big countries, what small countries can do. And if we can do this, can you imagine what it would be by having the support of government to have a system in place, and even more support from the companies, what Belize can do in all the different sports, basketball, football, all the rest.
Now you have a lot of experience traveling throughout Central America where this tournament is being hosted. What is the difference here in Belize compared to what you have experienced?
Well, I think one thing I will say outright, I think the players should be very happy. They're getting better treatment than in most countries, from food to even the hotel. Even though we were not able to put them in a high-end hotel, we have stayed in not the best of hotels at times. So we are definitely doing better than most Central American countries. My fear is, Ray, that after this tournament they want us to do it every year. They'll be asking every year.
And that would be great for Belize. So in the next 2 or 3 years, Belize could be called upon again to host this tournament.
Yeah. Actually, next year they've set out a schedule for hosting all the way to 2027. Next year we're scheduled to host the under-20 female here in Belize. So that would be a big thing, but that's another big budget.
And here is the setter for Nicaragua, Alvaro Solis, serving. And he hit that one long. That ball was hit long for Nicaragua.
That seemed to happen a lot at the start of matches. I get guys are still not fully warmed up.
And it will be number 3 for El Salvador, Juan Vargas, serving. And that one went off the block. Point. Nicaragua. Now, did you have an opportunity to sit with the Belize team after last night, 3-set loss for Guatemala? I was talking to them earlier today, and they are very devastated about that loss. And we know that the stigma here in the country of Belize that we don't mind losing to anybody except Guatemala.
That's right. If there was one match we would want to win, it's against Guatemala. But I think generally the guys are upbeat. This morning, I did speak with them last night. And I spoke with them this morning. Well, I saw them this morning, and they were definitely upbeat, feeling great. I think they're ready for tonight. Last night, I think the amount of emotion that was in the tournament or in the game, the pressure, I think really affected them a lot. Unlike Guatemala, who came psyched up, they were motivated. They wanted to show up Belize in Belize. So and then they're a very experienced team, so they've been in the situation, and you know, there was the result. But after the game, I told the guys we're still very proud of them. You know, that's a team that's been together, that's been training for many years,
right? And
a team that has
a lot of experience.
Yeah. Guatemala gets $500,000 US just for administration of volleyball. That's almost the full budget of the National Sports Council, and that's just volleyball administration. We're not even talking the rest of its programs of coaching and running tournaments.
So that's how far behind we are when it comes to our Central American counterparts.
Exactly. I mean, I think everybody knows Belize is very talented, and Guatemala, you know, has talent, but not as much talent as us for sure. But having the resources it makes a massive difference.
I was made to understand that the El Salvador national team have an area in El Salvador where they stay full-time in training for tournaments of this magnitude.
Oh yes, they have a place called the Olympic Residence, and they host almost all different sports in that area. And then they have an even nicer one, a smaller one that's like a little hotel. that fits two people per room, and it's very nice. It's like a nice hotel. I mean, strict rules. They have like a 10 p.m. curfew and things like that, but no type of alcohol allowed in the facility. But it's very nicely done. So Salvador has that. Guatemala, you know, they have an excellent program. They practice at least 4 times a week, year round.
Wow. So you can see why they are so dominant and they are well coordinated. Now let's talk about the fan turnout, because we understand that for the Saturday night that we had over something like 500 fans that turned out for the Saturday night game. Do you have any numbers from last night game, because it was a jam-packed house last night?
Yeah, last night I think we turned out just a bit more than the Saturday night. So I venture to say we were in the high 500 range, if not closer to 600. So it was a great. I mean, the fans last night were great. They really made this. That's what. I mean, the place is young, but that was really loud. I can tell you, it was so loud, Ray, that when they were pressing the buzzer for timeouts and so forth, the referees were complaining that they cannot hear it, that they can't hear any type of instructions coming from the desk.
Well, our guys on cameras, you know, they have the headset on, and this morning they were saying that they still hear the buzzing in their ears from all the noisemaker that was in it. But it's nice to see that Belizeans, because of this tournament, will be adapting to volleyball even more. You know, me as a commentator, I have never sat into a volleyball event, a tournament or anything of that nature, and coming out of this tournament I will be taking a lot with me when it comes to the game of volleyball. Well,
that's wonderful, and we're very thankful to the exposure and the coverage that you guys are doing. The TNC 10 team is doing excellent. Like I said, I can't tell you how much compliments we've gotten from the TV coverage as well as online. People who have seen the matches on TV say it looks excellent, and this does a lot for not only volleyball but for sport in Belize. And I've told many people already that TNC 10 will change sport in Belize because by exposing the athletes, by exposing the sport for good and it's bad, it will show the good and it will show some of where we're lacking, and hopefully bring the pressure on those that be to make the difference, because now it's on TV, and when it goes on YouTube, it's forever. Right.
So are you hearing from Norcesa or anything when it comes to the presentation of what the Belize Volleyball Association has done?
No, I've not heard from the president of Norseca yet. I get to see him next week in person. So I am sure that we will have comments from him, and we're planning to make sure that if he hasn't seen it, that he does see it. Unfortunately for us, for him to see it, there are like 3 competitions going on right now, some at world level and some more at world level. So he's up and about somewhere, but this is the best coverage by a TV station that I remember in years. Yes, Guatemala has done some, but they normally do only their home match and championship match. So this is by far the best coverage in Central America has ever received, and the quality supersedes even what some of the big Caribbean countries have been able to do. So
okay, Mr. Alan Sharp, it's a pleasure sitting in here with you, chit-chatting a little bit about what is happening, and we hope that you join us before our game again tonight against Panama.
Anytime, man. Thank you very much.
As we get back to the action here, high flying, and that's the guy we were talking about, Chavez. One of the high flyer, Rodrigo Chavez, for the Salvadorian national team. And like I've mentioned, he's not a big guy in stature, the powerful arms, but this guy hit with a high percentage of velocity when he's attacking the net. So it is a 9-7 2-point lead in favor of Nicaragua in set number 1. And that ball is hit out. And maybe you could put on the headset and do some commentary on the game. You're very versed in volleyball, and hang out with me for a while, Mr. Sharp, as that one is hit out. And it's now 8-10, hit out by Nicaragua.
Well, the performance that El Salvador did yesterday, we're expecting them to win today, but they're behind. Might have come out a bit overconfident. Couple of the Nicaragua players are not feeling too well because we had to try and get a doctor to see them.
What is the problem with the dehydration or?
No, they're not used to certain foods and went to try it.
Okay. So diarrhea has kicked in.
Yes. they're feeling much better right now, they said.
But we know Nicaragua hasn't won a match yet, and so that makes it even interesting going up against Salvador that won last night, and Nicaragua leading early in set number 1 by 3 points.
Yes, and the way El Salvador played yesterday, if they play like that during the course of today, they should win against Nicaragua.
Now, how much of the teams are complaining about the humidity or weather, and even in the building here where it's very, very hot?
The truth is, Dominican Republic had complained about the court. They were the only team that complained to me personally about the court, which I did not understand because maybe they don't know, but I've been to the Dominican Republic many times to watch tournament. They have the exact same court. They have humidity problems. They mop their court the same way that we mop our court, and they were complaining it because we mop our court. And I personally have been there to see it. So, but I let them vent a little bit and then just told them, look, Belize inside for the game yesterday was raining outside, we're inside here, and it traps the humidity, and the floor was wet, and we've experienced that even worse in Panama. We just were in Panama in July,
national team
and that one of our players got injured because that was far worse than what we were experiencing yesterday. And if you notice in the game, yes, there were some people slipping, but it wasn't as bad as they made it out to be. But some teams might say, oh, like I heard that the Salvador team complained about the heat on the first night, but the truth is, when you go to play like in Panama, Nicaragua, and some of these countries, you know how hot it's going to be, and you prepare for that.
Right.
We don't use that as an excuse. When Belize goes to Panama, we suffer, and we are used to heat. So I think some other teams. I mean, I don't hear Honduras complaining. Guatemala, who is accustomed to much cooler weather, is not complaining. So you know, I don't. Yes, it's been very hot, and today has been the coolest of the days, I think, so far. But I don't think it should be a big reason to complain.
Now let's talk about Costa Rica a little bit, one of the countries that is not here, and that's a question out there that we are hearing. Why is Costa Rica not a part of the tournament as they are part of Central America? Maybe you can explain to our viewers that is watching us now why Costa Rica is not in this tournament.
Well, Costa Rica, when they did the tournament, they ran a tournament within Norseca to choose the ranking and the teams. So they used the Norseca ranking, and in the Norseca ranking, Costa Rica is one spot, I believe, one spot higher than Dominican Republic. So that's why Dominican Republic had to come and earn its position into the continental round if they win. So that's how Costa Rica made it. The most interesting part that I think that's confusing some people is that in the FIVB ranking, which is the world ranking,
right,
Dominican Republic ranks higher than Costa Rica by a point or two. But because this is a Norseca trying to choose its teams going to the World Championship, then they use the Norseca ranking.
Okay.
So that's the reason, and it's a strange thing, Ray, because what happened is it's because Costa Rica did well in the last tournament in 2014 that makes them get this bye.
So who is the #1 ranking team coming into this tournament, the 2016 tournament?
Well, you mean of the teams that are here?
Right.
Of the teams that are here, Dominican Republic ranks the highest, followed immediately by Guatemala.
Well, we see the Dominican Republic is playing up to their ranking.
Yeah.
And they're well coordinated. I'm not going to say that they're well coached, because I think that our national team is also well coached. But they're well coordinated when they're out there on the court.
Yes, definitely. I mean, like I said, they have an excellent program, and the main thing, you know, a lot of times people think you can train for a month or 3 months or 6 months and win a championship, but it doesn't come like that. It takes years, and we have our Cuban coach here since February, and the guys have been training since February. But nevertheless, because of our talent abilities, we're hoping to definitely be in the medal run. We're still pushing for the medal, and it's still there for us to take.
Right. Now, tell us about some of the countries that have professional players playing in this tournament, because we know that Dominican Republic, I think they have a very good, strong professional league. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, Dominican Republic has a very strong league, but Dominican Republic also has about 4 players playing in the European League.
Okay.
In the Greek League and some of the other leagues. And we have a player injured.
And that's the libero for El Salvador, and he's in some serious pain.
But he's in bad problem.
Luis Morales is in he's in severe pain.
With the doctor, we need to get the doctor.
As we take a look, he rolled his ankle, or he buckled. He buckled under the pressure there. Maybe let's take a look at that once again on the replay, as to see exactly what happened. I don't think it's a slippage on the court, but you can clearly see where his leg buckled. Let's take a look at it once again.
Oh, his knee.
Yeah, he planted.
Yeah, his knee.
And all his weight went onto that left knee, and it buckled under him.
Oh, man.
And you know, I have talked so much about Luis Morales and the type of play that this libero is playing for El Salvador. And he, you know, we are saying that he could clearly come out of this tournament as the best libero for the 2016 World Championship qualifiers.
Yes, that's very disappointing to see. He has been an incredible libero. I was thinking the same way over the past games. I am that's really an unfortunate incident, and especially with knees take a bit longer to heal. Whenever you see a player scream like that, that's because it's a
severe injury.
Yeah, severe injury. We could see his knee buckle in that. But the medical doctor has him now, and they're going to check him out.
And interestingly, Salvador is the only team that brought in 2 liberos with the contingent.
Yeah, that is a very strong coincidence.
But before that happened, we were talking about the teams and the professional players, and you were talking about 4 players from
Dominican Republic
playing in the European Professional League.
Yes, they have a player in Greece. They have players, I think one lives in Spain. He's married in Spain. He's their top player, and a few other players in Spain. What we have also is Honduras has their best player plays in I want to say Finland. It's one of those countries like that he plays. Salvador, in fact, has one of their best players is in the US right now, going to school. And of course, to get time off from school, from a university, is very tough. So I don't see him here. He's their best player. I don't think there are any from Nicaragua playing anywhere. And Panama, I don't think so either, because Panama right now, I guess might have been mentioned in previous telecasts, but they have a mix of some pretty experienced players that have been around for a while, added with some young ones.
Now let's talk about the young man Mohong, who is not with this national team. I had the opportunity of seeing Mohong play, and he is, if not one of the best setters here in the country of Belize, but he's not with the national team. Tell us a little bit about what is going on with that.
Well, I'm glad you asked for him and some other players. When they went to the Under-23, which was July 25th to August 1st, upon returning, well, what we did first of all was train the Under-23 with the men's from February all together, basically expecting that because it's Under-23, you're basically in the men's league. Anybody or everybody is trying out for the men's national team. When we got to when they returned, I even spoke to him on the way down from the airport, and he seemed pretty excited to come back and try and make a mark with the senior team. We were expecting him to try out, and we were expecting him to make the team. But then we got a call a few days later saying that he's decided to put more emphasis on school. He did not think he could do school and continue the training, because of course the training schedule picks up as well. It increases. Originally this tournament was to be in August, so it would not have been a problem. But when it moved from August, he said, you know what? And he said he met with his family. He thought about it for a long time, and basically thought that he better put school first. We had about same with another player. We had another player that had the same situation, that that actually made the final cut, made the final cut down to 12, and then to find out that he said he would prefer to try and put emphasis on school. He was concerned that he can maintain his grades.
Right. The score is 17-15 with Nicaragua leading by 2 points. 17-15 is the score. Nicaragua up by 2 points. Now, what can be done in the country of Belize to have our athletes, because we do not have that high level of competition that goes on here in the country of Belize, but what can we do apart from that to mold and motivate these young, because we have some very young talented players. We have a 16-year-old Haas that is on this national team, and this young man is a very good volleyball player. Where can your support come from so that we can keep these guys intact and get them to play at the level that is being played around Central America?
Well, that's a very complex question, Ray. There's so much different answers to that one that everything must come together.
Well, we need to hear from the president. You know?
The first initial thing that has to happen is and I'm not only going to speak about volleyball, but basketball as well, and some of the other major sports. First, you require full-time staff and full-time facility dedicated to your sport. You know, you can't be sharing facilities, because I think basketball and volleyball in particular, and football even, requires multiple courts. And in the case of volleyball, I can tell you, because we're male and female and we have programs running, we need a minimum of 4 courts every day, and I can guarantee you that we would have those 4 courts being filled with national athletes, not even to mention other athletes who just want to play the sport. And so there has to be an investment, and government, to give them some kudos, did make the agreement with the Mexican government of whereby they're building a basketball volleyball facility which will have 4 courts in it, that can convert to 1 main court. But there's more need for that. That's the first thing. So there has to be facility. Then government plays a major role in getting permanent staff. A Cuban coach, which is one of the cheapest coaches to go full-time, costs you about, I'd say, $48,000 a year. If you want to, you can probably get some cheaper, maybe down to $35,000 a year. We have Belizean coaches who you can pay, I would suspect, $35,000 a year, and would be full-time coaches.
Right.
So that's part one. You can't do this in piecemeal. It has to be full-time, because these other countries are doing it full-time. You know, all their coaches that you see out here, this is what they do. And sometimes there are ways to do it, you know. For example, they might make like the university hire the coach. So the coach doubles as the university coach as well as the national team coach.
Right.
But the university pays the salary. You have the case of like, which for national team players, not every national team player, like we have some very talented national team player, but the guys live in the south or they have their family in the south. What do other countries do? They put these guys in the military. They say, okay, well, the military will pay you. You will be called a military, let's call it BDF. And 2 weeks a year, you must do full BDF training, learn to do all the BDF thing, but the rest of the time, you're with the national team. And that's how these countries do this. They make full-time players. In the case of people like Francis Haas, what they do is they give them their education. The government says, okay, you're a very good player.
Right.
So we're going to give you a scholarship because you're a national team player, not because you play for a particular club. You're a national team player, so we cover your expenses at school. You know, and that would be the beginning. Another fast fix, which is not what we want for the long-term fix, or maybe we do, is that some other countries in the Caribbean take their top athletes, especially, you know, the Caribbean strong in track and field.
Yeah.
And the government sends them to university. You're our top 2, 3 track and field star. We send you to school, and they make an agreement with the university because, of course, they'll get an athletic scholarship once the grades are good. If the grades are not good, they still send them to university, but the government pays. But whichever way, they make an agreement with the school, they go there to that school, and when the country needs them as a national athlete, they come home. This is win-win.
Right.
The athlete gets an education. The government looks good because they're giving scholarship, and it's something that's very visible because it's a national athlete, and the national program grows. And I think this is where we need more conversation within the powers that be to come up with some of these ideas of what can be done to help athletes.
You know, my sentiments is the same to what you have just mentioned, because we are not structured properly here in the country of Belize for development of our young athletes. So at that tender age, 14, 15, 16, 17, we need to get them out of the country. We need to migrate them out of the country of Belize and get them into programs that are properly structured. Because we look at our athletes, and yeah, we talk about talent, but development to the sports, they are not developed in the way that an athlete should be developed. When you look at their body structure, their muscles, they are not developed. And so what you have just mentioned is excellent to what other country is doing, and we hope that what we are talking about here this afternoon will not fall on deaf ears, and they will take on that initiative.
Just think of it as the country doesn't even have a national weight room for basketball, volleyball, football players to go and do proper physical training. Now that doesn't cost much, and there is facilities that could be put aside. I'm going to use volleyball as an example. When the Cuban coach came, that's the one thing he said: the Belizean athlete will not last jumping so high if they don't strengthen the quadriceps in their legs. Their knees will give in. They can't sustain that for a long time. You have to take care of the body, and with that you need to strengthen up. Look at the hand speed of the Guatemala players in hitting the ball. If you don't do the weight training, you can't get that hand speed, and if you do have the hand speed, your shoulder will not last.
Right.
So there's a weight program to it. Then there's a nutritional side. Then there's a health insurance side. These are all things that I think are not the most expensive, that would motivate kids. And you rightfully, I wanted to go back to one thing you mentioned about how else to develop players. You know, some years ago when Derek Morgan, who commentates with you, when they were at the top of their game, we had about at least 3 players playing in the Guatemala League. You see, Guatemala, #1 team. Back then they were like #1, #2.
Right.
And what Guatemala would pick and choose which players they wanted from Belize: Joseph Enriquez, Gillian Smith, some of these guys, and they would pick the weekend and they'd pay their bus ride to Guatemala, put them up, they play the weekend in the tournament and put them on the bus and go back. And those guys used to take that bus ride all the way there and back for the weekend to play for their club team in Guatemala. But because they're playing at that same level you saw last night in their club competition, their level went up, and they had to train with Guatemala coaches and see what is played at that level. So there are different ways. Like I said, that's why I said the answer is very complex, but there are many things that can be done, but it does require a lot of support. When you have an executive body like ourselves, where everybody's a full-time employee, we hold management positions, and then you have to try and organize everything. That's extremely tough. I can tell you that all the top federations in the country, all the busier federations, including table tennis, basketball, softball, football. Well, football already has a secretariat, but the others don't. We are all asking to let's have a secretariat, even if we share it.
Right.
Even if you have 3 people in the office that are handling 5, 6 federations, but we need people to do the regular, call up the referee, make sure the sponsor's name is there, make sure you collect, make sure you pay. You know, it's a lot of work, believe me.
So we are falling short in a lot of areas when it comes to...
Well, 2 years ago, Ray, I had to do a report to the Central American governing body in front of a bunch of people, and I pulled out a statistic. I showed the population of every country versus Belize. I showed the GDP of all their countries versus Belize. And then I managed to research from them how much money the government gives each one of their federations versus they give Belize. And of course, we're the only federation in Central America that has nobody fully employed. We're the only federation that we get the least of any of the federations in Central America from the government. And even the Olympic Committee now is doing excellent in here in Belize to finally start to find ways of how to help federations. They're helping us a lot in this tournament. But in Central America, the government gives the Olympic Committee money as well, which then in turn, Olympic Committee gets to decide who to give it to. But they have a structure in place of how that money, it's not like, well, I like you and I don't like you and I give you. They have a structure in place, a point system of who gets which amount of money.
Now, what role financially does NORSECA contributes to?
Well, NORSECA annually only gives us equipment. So they will give us about 100 balls every year, 100 regular balls and 100 what we call kids ball. And then they will normally give us 1 pair of antenna or 2 pairs of antenna, a ball card, a flip chart, and something like that. Financially, we get 0. It's a misunderstanding that's out there for many sports, because I can't speak for basketball, but I'm very sure they get 0 from their federation as well. As far as I know, FIFA is the only one that gives financial compensation.
Right.
And the money that FIFA gives is towards administration and coaching. So it's very limited. Athletics doesn't get anything either. However, for a tournament like this, for this World Championship, of our 200,000 plus budget, NORSECA did give us $15,000 towards this tournament, and they're doing that for all the other countries. Of course, my argument to them was that we're the most expensive country in Central America, so $15,000 to Honduras or Nicaragua is like double what it is. Right. You know, it means a lot to them.
And we see it's a very competitive set one, as we are all tied at 26 points apiece, so we are over the 25-point margin, and that's how competitive this first set is against Nicaragua and Salvador. So Salvador will be serving for set point, and there's a timeout on the floor by Nicaragua. But I must say that what you have done, you and your staff, by putting this together, you guys have done an excellent job and an excellent presentation for the country of Belize.
Well, thank you, Rian. I'm very glad that Central Cable and Internet are helping us to expose it to the country, because part of our thing is not only for volleyball, but to show what can be done in Belize when you have the support, what more could have been done if you have the support.
And I think that because of the beauty of our country, through sports we can sell Belize as the #1 tourist destination in the country of Belize. We could do that.
There's a whole other side of this. There's sports tourism. Every year, without fail, there's a university that wants to come and visit us, and we don't have any place for them to play or stay, because they need like a cheap dormitory that they pay like $30 a night and stay. But we don't have a sport dormitory. I've always said, I've mentioned this to the highest powers that you can think of, that we can't afford to build the facility, but we can afford to maintain the facility.
Right.
So just build the sport dormitory,
and give it to us.
And from there, by just the income it will have from the room and board, it will be able to maintain itself.
We are so far behind, and it's not that this country haven't played with a lot of money. This country has played with a lot of cash, but we haven't played with the cash in the right places. And I hope that at some point NORSECA will do like what the FIFA will be doing, because a promise was made to.
Everybody seems to be confused for a moment here, where the referee showed one way, then showed the next way. I'm not sure if it's the line judge changed their call.
And so the point.
Can we? I missed the replay.
The point went to Nicaragua.
Yeah, so they tied up again.
27-27 apiece.
Right.
Yeah, like I was saying, after the new president was voted in for FIFA, he made a promise that he will build a national stadium here in the country of Belize that will seat about 15 to 20,000
that would be nice.
A football stadium.
That would be nice.
Right.
Let's hope that when he promised, they can press him to say, let's do that in the next 3 years.
Right. He said that every country that does not have a qualified stadium, he will put one in that country.
That would be excellent. Those are the things we need.
There goes the hard hitting once again of Chavez, Rodrigo Chavez.
So we're 28-27.
Take a look at that. This guy hit with power.
Very nice. I think he decided I'm going to hit hard, and what happens, happens.
And he attacks well from the middle of the court. He's not the guy that comes from the opposite side. He attacks you from the middle.
Yeah, great vision of the blocker, so he could go around the blocker. Well, Salvador will feel very happy if they can win this match after losing their top player, the libero. Oh, they're tied up again. With a great hit on the outside, hitting high into the block. That's what you need to do in these situations. The fingers are the weakest part of the arm, so they go high for the fingers. Pressure situation. This is not a time to make service errors. They have to keep that in mind.
And there, you talk about it, and it presents itself.
Yep.
This is where you just want to get the service across the net and then let your defense take care of that.
There are a few times when you should not make service errors, and that was one of them. And the other team,
both teams making service errors.
Yep.
So this one is going quite beyond the limit, if I should put it that way, as we are at 29-29 apiece.
Well, let's see what he will do. Every player at this level has a service that they're confident in and should be able to put it in at high pressure. You even practice it, so.
What I noticed last night with the Guatemalan, there was this one guy on the Guatemalan team that was killing us off the jump serve.
Oh yes.
But what I noticed was because of the fact that we wasn't playing his service well. He gained momentum after every serve. He starts serving a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder. So I think to shut the service down of these high-profile server, you need to control the ball when it gets on the side of your net and show them that I can take care of your serve.
Yeah. And there they pulled it out. El Salvador pulled it out.
El Salvador taking set one here, a very competitive set one, 31-29. So what we'll do, we'll go to a break, and then when we come back, we will have set number 2 for you here from the St. Catherine's Multipurpose Center in Belize City. We'll be right back.
Who said that deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions? Walk into any one of our central TV and internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
How many times have you been away from a TV when there's something on that you want to watch? Or someone's using the only TV in the house and you can't watch your show? Introducing MyTV from Central TV and Internet that puts you in control of your TV time. MyTV is designed with you in mind, whether you're on the go, on break from school, or work, or simply relaxing in your backyard, you can have access to local TV at your fingertips. Never miss a show again. MyTV offers a 24-hour playback feature so you can go back in time to watch your favorite show. This feature also allows you to pause and watch at your convenience. MyTV is available to anyone with internet, wherever they may be. Watching mobile TV has never been easier. Our apps are available on both Google Play and Apple's App Store. MyTV works with most Android and Apple devices, including phones and tablets. Players for computers with Windows 7 and 8 or Apple MacBooks can be downloaded from the following links. With MyTV from Central TV and Internet, you won't be a slave to your TV anymore. You can watch your programs at your own convenience. You don't have to sit around waiting for your program to begin. The playback feature allows you to access 24 hours of programming. Just select a time, and MyTV takes you back to what was showing at that time. MyTV offers select programs, which includes all of Belize's leading local channels, sports, telenovela, kids, and Prime Network channels. Stay tuned in news, talk shows, sporting events, and local programming. It's time to take control. Want MyTV? Just contact your nearest Central TV and Internet office, and our friendly customer service representatives will assist you with the registration process, or simply sign up and register your account through the following link.
As we are back from the St. Catherine Multipurpose Center, an overextended first set, if I could use that term, was won by El Salvador 31-29, and we can see now that Luis Morales is now back on the bench for El Salvador. He seems to be okay. There's no ice pack on the knee, and he walked in the center here on his own strength, so that's good to see that Luis Morales, the libero for El Salvador, is back on the team bench. A free ball for El Salvador. Let's see what they can do off the free ball. And they made a point off the free ball. And that's what you're supposed to do whenever a free ball is given to you, is to come off the point. The block was there, but it was blocked into the net and right back into the court of Nicaragua. And that ball was hit out. So Salvador jumping out of the gate here in set number 2 by a score of 2-0. And it is number 3 serving for El Salvador, the setter Carlos Vargas. The jump serve. Picked up there by the libero. Excellent, excellent recognition there by El Salvador, dumping that one in the middle of the court when there was no defender for Nicaragua. Samuel Hernandez, the second libero for El Salvador, doing an excellent job in replacement of Luis Morales. And that ball is hit out.
Yeah.
And
Salvador seems to not. Well, they're up 3-1. What's the score?
3-1.
3-1. That's the problem sometimes, you know, that you try so hard in a set and that went extra points, you didn't win it, and then you have a letdown. But I can tell you one thing about Nicaragua team, it's rare that they will be down for too long. They're of all the Central American teams, they're the one that like always fight to the very end. They fight hard, a lot of effort.
And one of the things that I noticed with the game of volleyball, Mr. Sharp, is that there are marginal room for errors. because every error you make, it costs you a point.
Yes, yes. You know, it's something we try to teach with the teams at the very high level. A team will make sometimes 0 unforced errors in a set. When you start to get around 7 unforced errors, you can expect to lose. These teams you see here average about 10 unforced errors per set, and the top teams, the team that will win, will definitely be around 5 to 7 unforced errors per set. So for us to reach that level, that's the level that we have to play at.
And the score is 5-0. As
Nicaragua has gone to sleep.
Carlos Vargas continues to serve excellent. He has this spinning serve off the ball and has that back spin. A double contact. Was a double contact there by the player from Nicaragua. And there will be
changing the setter.
Number 13 coming into the game for Nicaragua. That's Jorge Toledo, and he's a setter that has just entered onto the court for Nicaragua. But they have to kill the service of Carlos Vargas here. They need a point.
Well, the coach did the right thing, just like you were mentioning earlier last night with that team. If a server gets on a roll, you try to do anything, you make a change, something to kill the momentum. Sometimes you dive on the floor to make it wet, so they have to come and wipe the floor. You do whatever it takes to slow the match down. Just not see, he makes another substitution as he's just trying to kill momentum.
As number 1 now checks in for Nicaragua, and that's the middle blocker, Esteban Icaza. So Icaza is in the game, the middle blocker. And that's the first point for Nicaragua in set number 2 as they're down 7-1.
Well, let's see if they can. Nice float serve.
Excellent block at the net.
Against the better hitter for Salvador. And he forced that one through the block.
That's a well-fought point for Nicaragua. As we take a look at that once again on the replay, pushing that one through the block. And that's what you don't want to do whenever you have momentum swing. You don't want to serve into the net, and we're at that 8-point junction where there's a timeout. There's an official timeout on the floor as El Salvador is leading 8-2 in set number 2 as they won set number 1 by a score of 31-29.
And El Salvador is doing it with their backup libero.
I know I heard you mention that everybody that is out there that we see in the green shirts and the different color shirts, that they're volunteer.
Yep.
How difficult was you to go out and get volunteers to come in and be a part of what is happening?
Well, you know, I have to admit we worked a lot through Miss Tanya Mahler, and she helped a lot. She has contacts at the St. Catherine's, which is a big volleyball school, as you know. They have so many championships in a row.
Yes.
And so a lot of the volunteers come from St. Catherine's, and of course the girls coming from a volleyball school want to volunteer for a program like this. And then we also got some from St. John's, Belize High School, and some other high schools, even SJC, JC. So the volunteers have not been much of the issue. The time, now that we're in the week, the first game being that it starts at 3 o'clock and they must show up from 2 o'clock is more the challenge because they're in class.
Right.
And even some other volunteers we have, they have work, so they're not able to come until after 5 o'clock.
Excellent point there for Nicaragua. A big point for them, I should say, after the rally, and they needed that point as it is a 9-3 ball game to stop the bleeding.
That was a scramble play coming from the back. The guy put the ball up high on the outside and sharp cross-court hit. They've made 2 service errors in the last just few opportunities, and they're behind. Not sure what's the plan, what plan they have.
Now, I noticed that Luis Morales, the Liberia, is back on the bench for El Salvador. Did you get an update as to his injury?
Yes, I went to the doctors, and they both mentioned to me that it's too early to tell how bad it is, but he did have a sprain of the knee. They believe it might be the exterior ligaments to the knee, but they say it's a bit early for it to say how bad it is. They've given him some medication. They want him to rest for the rest of today.
Okay.
They've given him some of course, ice and some anti-inflammatories and some painkillers. And then it said that tomorrow he'll be able to be checked again to see how he feels.
I must say that you have a great medical staff here in the building.
Well, thanks very much to Dr. Crespo and Dr. Tanya Morion, and of course we have some great help from the Department of Health. They've been helping us a lot as well. So between all the different forces, we've been able to have good doctors here, and we have unfortunately had, this is now at the third injury for the tournament.
Yeah.
And the doctors have been on top of it.
We saw one of the players from Dominican Republic,
yeah.
and he's a key player in that Dominican Republic team, and he went down last night.
Yes. And then we have a player from Panama who got hurt during a practice. I saw him today. His ankle is in much better shape, but still not in playing shape.
But it's just the high intensity that these games are played under. And these players,
Yes.
they go all out. Chavez with the serve, serving that one into the net. Excellent block. It was a one-on-one, and Nicaragua won that one-on-one on the block.
This referee has changed the call after the call from the linesman.
So it is a 13-5 score as Rodrigo Chavez continues to serve. Excellent jump serve. And that's what I noticed, that a lot of players in this tournament goes to the jump serve.
Yeah, in men volleyball, if you give the ball too easy on the other side, the game is going to be played very fast by your opponent, and almost for sure you will be losing the point. There are some teams that even at the very high level, like Russia, who know that they're not very strong in the backcourt, that they will make 3, 5, sometimes 7 service errors per match, because they just believe in giving, as we say in Creole, we just bomb the ball to the next side, because if they get it too easy, they're going to bomb you back. So might as well take the chance of giving it hitting it as hard as you can.
Armando Guatemala just served for El Salvador, and it's 15-6. It's a 9-point lead for El Salvador.
I'm glad no Belizean has that last name.
Excellent pick up there by Chavez. Hernandez just putting that ball over the net.
Line shot in.
I think after this tournament is said and done, I will be a volleyball lover also.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Ray. We're hoping a lot of the people watching the tournament will get to like it. Volleyball is not played like in the some time ago.
It's been
much faster, much harder. Look.
Oh yeah.
I mean, last night in the game we had a number of players being hit by the ball, like just now. Player down the line.
So we are at that 16-point mark where it's an official timeout, and as the ushers, they take care of the wiping up of the court. I must say it's a pleasure to sit and talk with the presidents. Whenever whenever I'm beside the president, I feel real special.
We're only the leader of volunteers, that's all. We all have to work hard. Thank you very much, Ray.
Yeah, it's really nice sitting here and chit-chatting with you and you know, ventilating some of the issues that is that how we could better the sports of volleyball and any other sports in the country of Belize.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm taking as much advantage as I can of this opportunity to try and express many of the thoughts I have regarding sports in the country of Belize, because as I said in my opening talk, Belize is a very young country. Our average age is below 20 years old. Some years ago it was 16, and here it's now up to like 18, compared to USA where it's like 29, 30, the rest of Central America where it's like 26, 28. So there should be a lot of emphasis on youth. You know, one of our biggest ministries should be youth and sports, because we have to keep the young people occupied for them to, in positive things, for them to live a positive life.
And we are clearly seeing the end result when we don't take care of our youths.
Right.
We are losing a lot of them to the gun violence.
That's exactly right. And you know, everybody needs to believe in themselves and have self-esteem. And sports is an excellent way for that. And basically, if you let them feel loved and have self-esteem from being in a gang, that's where they will go.
Right, because you know, what we have a lot of broken homes here in the country of Belize.
Very much so.
You know, these kids, they're looking for love, but love is in the wrong place. When the love is supposed to be on a basketball court, a volleyball court, or the football field, it's not there.
Yep. And that's where the coaches come in as well. It's a thing that I mentioned, that we need to train so many more coaches in Belize, because kids, to play any sport, there's lots of kids. Coaches to coach them, there's much less of that, and quality coaches even less. And so, you know, coaches have a tremendous influence on their athletes. So you need to have good coaches, good programs that will have them do the right thing.
Right.
And be their father or mother or away from home, especially for the broken homes.
I must talk about YWAM there in Roaring Creek. They have a excellent football program going on, a youth program. It's a Christian ministry, but what they have been doing over the last 10 years or so, they have attracted kids of all ages, especially from broken homes, and they have set up dormitories and stuff over there so that the kids they could come in and you know, express themselves through sports. And it is really working over there at YWAM. A good contingent of young players have come out of that system, and they're very disciplined, and not only that, they're quality football players also.
That sounds like an excellent program. We need more of that. I mean, and that I'm sure that has a well, a fluke play happens there.
Right.
But that sounds like an excellent program. And then of course you add the God part to it, and that you can't. That's, you know, that's excellent that they have the positive role from both sides.
And it's done by I would say Christian groups that comes into the country, and they contribute to the development of that particular program.
Wow.
And even when they go back to the States, you know, talking to Pastor Santi that runs the program, they still contribute. Even when they go back, they still contribute to the program.
That's excellent. I mean, and you know, I always say that there's so much opportunity to make ties with groups from other countries, more countries that have it a bit better than us. So it's not everything that we have to rely on government or private sector for, but we definitely need some support and some leadership in all the areas.
Well, what I'm hoping for, because you know that we are on live stream, that Belizeans abroad will want to jump on board with what they're seeing here happening in Belize, and would want to contribute, especially the Belizeans that are well off in the United States, that would want to contribute to this program.
I think that's an excellent idea. I think again, I'm sure some of them will say we need to set up a proper a proper facility for them to be able, for them, 1 second, Ray.
Yeah.
Where again this referee is again making some controversial calls because not being very decisive in her calls. And when you do that, you're going to lose control of the match. And
we had several of that in our game against Guatemala last night.
Reda last night had some things I've never seen in my 24 years of international volleyball. I mean, anybody could see that the Guatemala team is more structured than our team, but to make 4 change the call of the linesmen 4 times, and all 4 were against the home team is
very questionable.
Yes, that's the first time I've ever seen that. But you know, it goes to something, just like the players are developing in Central America, so are the referees.
Okay,
so
okay, I know I could understand that.
The referees can only be as good as their country are doing, so because they get to travel with their country or wherever their country goes, which is again a challenge for us in Belize. Although I think we have excellent officials, we spend a lot of time training our officials. But
what we have 2 certified FIVB officials.
Yeah, but one is in indoor and one is in beach volleyball.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Khalid Inkalara is the indoor international referee. Doing excellent. He spends a lot of time studying the sport. And Mr. Martin Swayze, who's assisting today as one of the line judges, he is international beach referee, and he has actually got an opportunity, invitation from the FIVB itself.
And ace just been served there by El Salvador, and they will be serving for set number 2.
24-12. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does international beach, and he's actually been invited by the FIVB headquarters in Lausanne 2 or 3 times already to go referee in their world tour in Mexico. So
excellent to hear.
Yeah, he's done very well. Ooh, referee was lenient on that one.
Ooh, major error, but with that error, Salvador lead 2-0 over Nicaragua. What we'll do, we'll take a break and then we come back with set number 3.
That deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions. Walk into any one of our central TV and internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
How many times have you been away from a TV when there's something on that you want to watch? Or someone's using the only TV in the house and you can't watch your show? Introducing My TV from Central TV and Internet that puts you in control of your TV time. My TV is designed with you in mind. Whether you're on the go, on break from school or work, or simply relaxing in your backyard, you can have access to local TV at your fingertips. Never miss a show again. My TV offers a 24-hour playback feature so you can go back in time to watch your favorite show. This feature also allows you to pause and watch at your convenience. My TV is available to anyone with internet, wherever they may be. Watching mobile TV has never been easier. Our apps are available on both Google Play and Apple's App Store. My TV works on most Android and Apple devices, including phones and tablets. Players for computers with Windows 7 and 8 or Apple MacBooks can be downloaded from the following links. With My TV from Central TV and Internet, you won't be a slave to your TV anymore. You can watch your programs at your own convenience. You don't have to sit around waiting for your program to begin. The playback feature allows you to access 24 hours of programming. Just select a time, and My TV takes you back to what was showing at that time. My TV offers select programs, which includes all of Belize's leading local channels, sports, telenovela, kids, and Prime Network channels. Stay tuned in news, talk shows, sporting events, and local programming. It's time to take control. Want My TV? Just contact your nearest Central TV and Internet office, and our friendly customer service representatives will assist you with the registration process, or simply sign up and register your account through the following link.
We want to welcome you back to St. Catherine's Multipurpose Center here in Belize City as we are getting ready for set number 3. Salvador leading 2-0 over Nicaragua. Salvador can put it away here, taking this match in set 3.
Yeah, it seems after that first tight set that Nicaragua is struggling to recover mentally.
Was an excellent block, and that's the way they need to start set number 3.
Yep, they at least they start blocking strong.
And it's not anyone that can really block Hernandez, Francisco Hernandez, so they had to double team him just a while ago.
That's a big, strong guy, I tell you. Well, let's see if they go. If this ball is, oh, it wasn't passed well. I was there he goes.
Once again, he's been blocked.
Well, dog.
Chavez.
Oh, nice defense. Up, and they get their second point. Oh, Nicaragua made a change by bringing in number 20.
And that's Lester Martinez, and he's an opposite player.
Okay, yep. If this ball is passed well by El Salvador, I have a feeling they're going to set it in the middle. That seems to be their bread and butter when it goes well. There it is. There it is.
You call it.
That is.
You call it, Alan.
That's their bread and butter. Nobody's been able to stop him yet. So.
I noticed last night that Guatemala was targeting Castillo
in the serve.
In the serve, yeah.
Yep.
And I think that as a player, you should develop the mindset that if you come to me, I'm going to show you not to come to me. But I didn't see that out of Castillo last night.
Yeah, I think what. A block down there by the El Salvador team. Yeah, last night I think they were going first. They tried to go after Brighton. Brighton passed well. They went after Libero. He passed well, so they decided to go to Keith, especially when Keith was hitting on the outside, because it's much more difficult to pass and then hit than not to pass and hit. So
right.
Oh, next block.
Excellent move there. Excellent play by El Salvador.
They're trying to feed the middle a lot once the ball is passed well. They did the same thing against Belize. It took a little while to adjust, but let's see if Nicaragua will be able to adjust.
Excellent dig by Navarrete.
Yeah.
That ball is hit long. It's in.
Yeah, it came. No, it went off the hands of the blocker.
Tip. It's a tip ball. Yep, and we saw it right there on the replay. The ball was tipped by Hernandez. Hitting that one too long.
He was the same guy that served out when they were in the late parts of set 1.
That's Calderon. No, that's Mayorga for Nicaragua.
Famous boxer from Nicaragua name. Oh, nice dig. Oh, off his head. Everything going El Salvador away, a lot of luck. It's the second lucky shot. They blocked the ball, but it went right off the attacker.
Excellent block by Chavez. And they go
And they
at
block
it
him
again.
twice. Oh, this is number 3.
They went to the middle that time to Hernandez.
Yeah, that was a nice change of
That's a tomahawk.
back row, low back row set. Facing the setter was facing the other way. And then he serves long. You have 8 seconds to serve from the time the referee blows the whistle. And he seemed to be in a bit of a rush, especially after that rally. Should have taken more time.
And the score is 6-4.
Tandem, oh, pancake as we call it. Oh. And
That
the
was
linesman
in.
says it's in, and so does the referee.
It was in off the block. And it will be Mendivar serving. Let's take a look at that on the replay. It
Yep.
was in.
Yeah, it's in. 31, and it goes down for Nicaragua.
Excellent camera work being done by the crew here for of TNC 10.
Excellent. I can't wait to go back and watch those 4 calls from last night.
Block.
It's nice to get to play it over.
Block.
Block by El Salvador. Here we come from back row. And they keep
Consistent blocking by El Salvador.
Yep.
And that's the first 8
There.
point of the game. It's an official timeout on the floor. But El Salvador really protecting the net well.
Yeah, so we call it block party or plywood, as we say. They put
Building a house, huh?
up, yeah, put up plywood. You can't pass. Yeah, they're definitely having a block party with, especially with Martinez from Nicaragua. They keep blocking him.
Once again, if you're watching us at work via the internet, and if you're watching us abroad, we want to say thank you and we welcome you to our coverage. And if you're at home watching us on the television set, we want to say thank you for welcoming us into your homes. I am sitting with the president of the Belize Volleyball Association, Mr. Alan Sharp. And that's the voice that you've been hearing since the start of this game, and we are chit-chatting and going some over the details and things that can enhance our youths and our talented players here in the country of Belize when it comes to sports.
And let's start announcing right that we play against Belize plays Panama at 7:30 tonight, and it's a big game for Belize. We still have a strong opportunity at medal. We have medaled since 2000. 2000 was the last time we medaled. So we have a strong opportunity here. We need the fans out here to support us against Panama. Panama is a team we should beat. And so we're looking forward to fan support to make that happen.
Panama has been struggling so far. They lost their first 2 games. And in their loss last night, there wasn't that. You looked in the face of the players, and you don't see that eagerness to try to pull off a set or anything of that nature. And
yeah,
we are hoping that's the same way they approach this game tonight.
Well, I would hope so, but I think what you're going to see is they're playing the home team. They're going to play in front of the largest crowd for this tournament, so they want to give it their best. The first set will be the one that probably worked the hardest, so we have to take away that set and then keep working hard, not let down like we did in the El Salvador game. Keep working hard for every set. The match is best of 5, so we need 3 sets to win the match. We need to push hard for all three sets, and once we play our game, we'll definitely win.
Alan, let's talk a little bit about the point system, because this tournament is played under a point system.
Yes, it's not my favorite. I prefer the original system, but the way it works right now is the first criteria is your wins-loss record, because it's a round robin. So the first criteria is who has the most wins. Then the second criteria is the points system, whereby you get 5 points if you win 3-0, 4 points if you win 3-1, 3 points if you win 3-2, 2 points if you lose 3-2, 1 point if you lose 3-1, and 0 points if you lose 3-0. So, for example, we got 3 points in the game against El Salvador and 0 points last night. So we have 3 points in the tournament with a 1-1 record.
And the Dominican Republic with 10 points, because they,
right.
In their 2 wins, they closed it out in 3 sets.
Exactly, correct. And Salvador got 2 points the first night, and they got 5 points yesterday when they won 3-0. So they have 7 points.
So it's very important for Belize to come into tonight's play and have and try to get that 3 sets win.
Definitely, it's very, very important. And like I said, we have a chance at medal, so we need to get that going.
And Salvador is looking for their second 3 sets win in a row. So
yeah, definitely. I very interesting play just now. Again, they ran to their middle, but they ran another player through the middle, and he met 2 blockers. But great vision by him. He turned the ball around the blocker, hitting it to the 1 position. Oh, and we had an error set there by the setter. Put the ball too far away from his quick attacker. Was coming right up on him to what we call a 51, and he put the ball a bit further away from him.
Serving for El Salvador is Alvarez, the middle blocker. And this guy, he's not a powerful serve, but it's a deadly serve.
Beautiful float low to the net and floating. Oh, it was a pretty nicely formed block, but the ball squeezed through.
It was a triple block.
Yeah, triple block, very well formed, very tight, but the ball squeezed through for Nicaragua. And there is Nicaragua with a block of the player from El Salvador, who was hitting from the D, which is the back row to the right, behind the attack line. And here he comes again. This time they go to the front to Hernandez, who gives a roll shot. Oh, Libero set the ball too far outside. That's a lift. The referee was lenient, but Nicaragua still did not get the ball across the net.
And so it's a 14-9 score in favor of El Salvador. Nicaragua need to find somehow they can strung off 3 or 4 points to get back into this set.
Yeah, normally they would be fighting much harder, but I think a bit of the height. I think some of the other teams coming up jumping much higher and fighting much harder than they are presently doing.
Excellent tip.
Yep, and that was against 1 blocker. And the ball goes in.
It was in.
Deep shot by number 6 for El Salvador, which is what you want to do in those situations. You want to hit deep, high and deep.
And it was just in. Excellent call there by that's what the line judge.
Yep, the line judge, and also even the coach of Nicaragua told his players that it fell in. Where was the blocker? The outside blocker came off the net when he should have stayed and blocked. That's a lack of concentration, a lack of discipline, which is very unusual for the Nicaragua team.
So El Salvador leading 16-9 here in set number 3, as they took the first set 31-29 and took the second set 25-12. After losing to Belize, El Salvador is looking to go back-to-back in 3 sets, winning last night in 3 sets, and is looking to do the same thing here this afternoon.
Yes, and that would give them 12 points, which means that they're also hunting for that medal. They're going to be riding against us hard tonight. I'm sure they're going to want to have some of their players stay, because they're going to definitely be wanting us to lose. because right now they have one loss, and that's against Belize.
Right.
So they need for us to lose. But I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
I think our guys are poised and ready. I think they have already put that game behind them, and they know what the job is at hand.
Oh yeah, you know, you can't reverse time, so we just have to take on the next one. So let's see.
Right through the block.
Yep, he put that one right between the middle and the outside blocker.
There was an opening. It wasn't sealed tight.
Managed to get that through. That's a technique used by many players when training. They only concentrate on hitting around the outside blocker, forcing the middle to do his job, and if the outside blocker doesn't do it perfectly, the ball's gonna go in. And there comes Mr. Powerhouse Hernandez.
I noticed that whenever El Salvador get the ball within 3 feet of the net, that's when they're very dangerous. But when the ball is set 3 feet and out away from the net, several times it was blocked.
Yeah, that happens because they're not the biggest jumpers or the tallest players. And in fact, that's what Hernandez took advantage of just now against the Nicaragua team. Nicaragua is less tall than they are, is shorter than they are. So he was hitting high at the hands, and with his power, he's able to force the ball off the hands and out. What there Nicaragua did was their turn. That time Martinez, the opposite, he swung hard against high into the block, and the ball went out off the blocker. Oh, that's the referee is being really nice. Yep, because that was a ball went over with the setter being in the back row. It's called a back row attack. Don't mean to be critical of the referee, but she's having a hard day today. And they also grade the referees every match.
So they have an assessor in the building.
Yes, the head of officials is assessing what's happening, and so you don't want to have these types of matches as a referee or a player where things are not exactly going the way you want them to. And if this was a more high-level match, it would have been problems. And Martinez gets another one through. Blockers did not penetrate over the net, so the ball managed to go between the players and the net on the block.
Garcia coming into the game for Nicaragua. Coming out of the game is Martinez, Lester Martinez.
Well, Garcia threw up the ball. It was a terrible toss, and he was just trying to save the ball. And he
served an ace.
Yes, he served an ace because the Salvador team didn't know what to do with the ball coming in such a weird way. But counts for a point. Okay, much better toss. And with the better toss, he serves out.
And clearly his intent was to attack the line.
Yes, he was trying to go to the outside attacker, make him work. Another nice float, well received though. And Nicaragua gets that point. If you'll notice that anytime these guys are in trouble, field multiple blockers, they go high into the hands.
Right. Rodriguez coming in for, and Calderon for Salvador. Vargas is out, and also Flores.
Nicaragua creeping up, 19-15.
They cannot afford to trade points at this juncture.
Yes.
They need to put a string of 3 or 4 points together. Number 1, Rodrigo Chavez for El Salvador.
guess he decided to take the chance because they were up by 5 points near the end of the set.
And there's a lot of technique that goes into that jump service. You have to be precise, the timing and everything.
Yes, and the hardest part is the toss. The toss is the hardest part to get it accurate. Ooh, that's a good. Referee was a bit late in making the call, but she made the right call. Setter was hesitant. He needs to make a quick decision. Volleyball, the ball doesn't stop. The ball keeps flying, so you need to make a quick decision. If you're indecisive, you'll pay for it. That was a nice back row hit by Nicaragua.
Free ball.
And they did not do the best thing with it. They've given it back to El Salvador. And El Salvador did not do well with it. And Nicaragua did not do well with it. A lot of playing near the net. Nicaragua player ends up way on the other side. What is the call? What's the final call?
They're appealing now to the referee.
But I thought they won the point. What are they calling? They're calling a net.
Right, so it's 21-17.
The rule says whichever fault occurs first.
That would be 21-18.
Yeah,
and there's a timeout.
Yeah, she's having a rough day. But the rule does say that the first fault is the one that counts. So if somebody touched the net before the other player either interfered or feet crossing the net, feet crossing the center plane, it is the net fault that is first.
So the right call has been made. It's just that she was a bit hesitant to make the call.
Yeah. As you know, in every sport, the referee has to make a decision quick and decisive.
Oh yeah.
If they seem to be hesitant, that's when they lose control.
That's when the fans start second guessing your ability as a referee.
And the players, and so then it becomes a problem. You need to be decisive, right or wrong. Just okay, a float serve that did not go across.
Nicaragua not helping themselves with these unforced errors that they're committing.
That's right, and they had brought themselves within 3. But now that service error now makes it a 4-point game.
And Nicaragua bringing back Flores, the opposite player, into the game. And also number 2, Armando Guatemala, another opposite player.
The formation you see Nicaragua receiving with is the common one, 3-passer formation for men volleyball. El Salvador returns the favor with a service fault trying to serve short. So it's a 3-point game, still within reach for Nicaragua. This is the gentleman that keeps making error. Oh, nice block by Nicaragua. They're going outside again, and it's blocked again. That's twice blocking the same player, and they went to the quick, but the quick is blocked that time. Gone to, and the player hits it, but comes across on the Nicaragua blocker. The Nicaragua blocker has twisted his ankle a bit. He's trying to recover.
But I like the movement of the ball there on the net by El Salvador. And he's holding on to his right ankle. And that is one of the injury that we see a lot.
That's the FIVB doctor out there. Khalid, get hold of the doctor for me, man. They're just going to strap up his shoe tighter.
A little bit tighter, yeah.
But you know, you got to weigh whether to risk your athlete at this stage. You're down 2-0. You're down 4 points, whether with 2 points to go, whether you risk. Well, I see they're taking him off, so they're going to substitute him.
Does this player wear ankle support?
A lot of them do. A lot of them do. Like you can see, number 13 from Nicaragua has an ankle support. The libero from Nicaragua has an ankle support. That's an active ankle. That's one of the better types to use. Used a lot in volleyball.
Excellent dig. And the finish by Chavez.
Yeah, that's what you call a tool. Tooling the player.
And so El Salvador will be serving for match point. And this one is in the bag for El Salvador.
Yeah, it should be. They have a 5-point lead. Stranger things have happened. So now it's a 4-point lead with Nicaragua serving. See, sometimes when you see what happened in that last blocking, blocking does no mistake by the Nicaragua team, and when balls land between the player and the net, because they're not penetrating over the net. In blocking, you're supposed to jump high enough that your hands are on the other side of the net.
Right.
It doesn't make it impossible, but much more improbable for the ball to come.
And that takes a lot of coordination too, because you don't want to make contact with the net with your lower body.
Exactly, exactly. So it takes a lot of practice and try to concentrate a lot on getting over, but if you don't, you pay the price.
Ooh, that one almost fell in for an ace.
And there we go. So now it's down to
21, 24.
3 points. Like I said, stranger things have happened, Ray.
Let's see if it will happen here this afternoon for Nicaragua.
No, I think if Nicaragua makes the next point, the El Salvador coach will call a timeout. He won't let this go on.
Once again, serving in the net.
They got a good ball and a good finish.
That will end it for Salvador, winning in 3 sets over Nicaragua. And what we'll do, we'll take a break and then we'll come back.
That deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions. Walk into any one of our central TV and internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
times have you been away?
I am here with the setter, Jorge Toledo of Nicaragua. You guys seem to not have been playing with a lot of enthusiasm out there against El Salvador. What happened on the court today for Nicaragua?
¿Crees, los vio con poco entusiasmo y qué pasó el día de hoy?
Bueno, creo que el equipo sí estuvo un poco bajo de ánimo, pero bueno, ya son problemas algunos de salud, pero sí, creo que tenemos que trabajar mucho en el ánimo del equipo.
Yes, he agrees. He agrees that they were not too enthusiastic. They have to work on that, but there are some of his teammates that are ill.
Tell us a little bit about what happened to your teammates, because I was talking to the president and he mentioned to me that some of your guys are ill. He was trying out certain Belizean food and that kind of took its toll on the players.
I know you speak English, right?
I think that not everybody is used to the type of food that we're eating here. Maybe the condiments, I don't know. I don't know what happened, or maybe the water. I don't know if the refresh that we take with the food, and maybe it's made with water that our body is not used to it.
Now, what is going to take for you guys to bounce back from a loss like this? You lost in 3 straight sets. There was a multitude of errors that was being made by your team. How do you bounce back from a loss of this magnitude?
Well, we have to make less mistakes in the game, and I don't know. During the game, we have some points that we play well, but after that, we lose 3-4 points in a row. So we have to be more consistent.
Was it that the defense of El Salvador was that good?
Yeah, it was good, but they lost their main libero, and maybe we thought that the defense will be a little bit not that better, but we know that they defend very well.
I want to say thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there we have it from the setter for Nicaragua, Jorge Toledo, and I'm joined by one of my favorite players here. I must say that I like the play of Rodrigo Chavez, and he's an outside hitter for El Salvador. Now, the first game you guys lost against Belize, but we are seeing a different El Salvador team in the last 2 games, winning in 3 straight sets over the last 2 games. What is the difference between the El Salvador team that played Belize and the last 2 El Salvador team that won in 3 straight sets?
You understand, right?
Yeah, but
Answer in Spanish then.
okay. La gran diferencia es la autoconfianza y la motivación que tiene el grupo. A pesar que tuvimos un jugador lesionado, por suerte traíamos un reemplazo muy bien entrenado, que puede que no sea igual de dotado técnicamente, pero es un jugador muy joven que nos llegó a impulsar con muchísimo ánimo. La gran diferencia a lo largo de este torneo ha sido la motivación, le repito, los jugadores han llenado de mucho carácter, de mucho valor y de mucho sentido patriótico.
It's motivation. We're motivated to do well. We're enthusiastic. Despite losing our main libero, the one that substitute him is doing very well. We are very patriotic. We want to fight up to the end.
No, you're not a big player in status, in structure, but you have a lethal and a potent jump serve, and you also attack the net, and you attack the net with authority. Tell us about how you develop the mentality to be such a good and excellent player in those areas.
Yo fui entrenado desde muy pequeño, la verdad, desde la edad de 8 años, y todos los entrenadores por suerte han sido seleccionados. Ellos han sabido transmitirme ese sentimiento por el juego, por este grandioso deporte, por El Salvador, y me han ayudado muchísimo a desarrollarme como jugador, como persona a lo largo de toda mi carrera.
So I've been playing volleyball since I was 8 years old. Fortunately, my coaches have been also players, and they have represented El Salvador previously, so they transmitted that feeling of doing well, of being his best, not only as a player, but as a person too.
Now, do you guys look down the schedule, because we know Dominican Republic has shown to be the most dominant team so far? Have you looked down the schedule to that game coming up with the Dominican Republic?
La verdad es que estamos esperando muy ansioso ese partido. No sabemos con qué planteamiento va a salir República Dominicana, sí sabemos cuál vamos a utilizar nosotros. A pesar de eso, nosotros tenemos la pura intención de dar la mejor lucha que podamos ante un equipo que tiene todas las posibilidades de ganar y aparentemente es muy superior. Sin embargo, nosotros queremos regalarle un buen espectáculo a las personas de este lindo país.
We want to put on a good show for Belize. We know that maybe they're the favorite, but we already have our game plan set. We don't know how they're going to play against us, but we're going to fight.
I want to say congratulations on your win, and once again, you are one of my favorite players so far.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
All right, so there we have it from the captain of El Salvador, Rodrigo Chavez, telling us a little bit about, how the change have been made for El Salvador after losing to Belize. As now we'll bring in the coach for El Salvador. I'm joined by Neri. Coach, tell us a little bit about the transition that has been made after losing to Belize. Coming back and winning both games in 3 straight sets, there had to be a transition that was made. Tell us a little bit about that.
Ok, sabíamos que contra Belice iba a ser un juego bastante fuerte, que dimos el todo por el todo. Lastimosamente al final unos errores pequeños nos quitaron el juego, pero pensamos que íbamos a venir de menos a más creciendo contra los otros países, que este es una competición a un nivel muy parejo y creemos que estamos dando lo mejor, y la transición de nuestros jugadores es eso mismo, que están jugando bajo presión.
My players have come from less to more. They're playing under pressure to do better after losing to Belize, which was a very tough match for them. But yes, they're doing much better as the tournament develops.
Now, have you guys adjusted to the climate here in Belize? Because I know that in the first game against Belize, the humidity had a serious effect on El Salvador. Have you guys climatized going into the 3rd day of this tournament?
Bueno, nosotros esperamos obtener un mejor resultado y lograr, vuelvo a repetir otra vez, que Belice pueda decaer en algún momento contra otro equipo competitivo.
Te está preguntando acerca de la humedad de Belice, si crees que ya los jugadores están más climatizados.
Sí, no nos hemos adaptado del todo porque nuestro país es muy diferente, pero como les decía, es una competición fuerte y nosotros como país nos tenemos que adecuar al igual que los otros.
Okay, not quite well adjusted, but our opponents also have to adjust to the climate, so it's a factor for both sides.
Let's talk about the prognosis of Luis Morales. And I'm already giving Luis Morales as the #1 Liberia so far in this tournament. He's a key component to your offense. How is he doing after the injury? Will he be back for the next game? Where is he at after the injury?
Es un jugador clave, Luis, para ustedes.
No creemos que pueda jugar debido a la lesión. Tiene un daño en el tendón que le duele mucho. Ya antes le había pasado. Esperamos que se recupere, pero no creo. Por suerte tenemos el día de mañana de descanso, sin embargo, traemos 2 libros y creo que ambos son muy competitivos.
So he won't recover for the rest of the tournament. They have a rest day tomorrow, but it won't be enough. They won't be using him anymore. Fortunately, they registered 2 liberos, so they're going to keep on using the second one.
So Samuel came into the game, and I know that you're satisfied with the play of Samuel, but can he fill that post that is vacated by Morales for you and for Salvador to be successful?
¿Sí puede llenar el hoyo, el vacío que está dejando Morales, Sammy?
Sí, creo que sí. Incluso con Samuel venimos trabajando desde mucho antes con él que con Morales, y pienso que él va a dar todo su potencial para poder suplir dignamente a Morales.
Yes, he definitely will do well, and he can fill his spot, Morales' spot.
Coach, congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
And there we have it from the coach of El Salvador, and now I'm joined by the coach of Nicaragua, Osman Hernandez. Coach, your team wasn't playing with no enthusiasm today, and they made a lot of errors in the 3 sets that you lost to El Salvador. What do you have to say about that?
Dice que vio a tu equipo con poco entusiasmo y con muchos errores hoy en la derrota ante El Salvador. ¿Consideras que fue así y por qué?
Sí, en el primer set ellos venían con mucho ánimo, lucharon hasta los 32 puntos, pero seguimos teniendo el tropiezo de cerrar un set. Cerrar un set nos ha costado mucho. En el segundo set, pues sí, se desconcentraron prácticamente y pues no logramos levantar cabeza, nos costó. En el tercero tuvimos que recurrir a varios de los jugadores nuevos, pero por dicha los muchachos lograron aumentar el marcador y no quedar tan bajo, la verdad.
Yes, we lost focus, lost concentration, despite a very good first set. But again, as the first match, they couldn't seal the set. It would have been important. In set 2 and 3, they lost focus, and in set 3, he used bench players so they wouldn't finish too low on the score.
Now, how do you motivate your team looking forward to your second match?
¿Cómo motivas a tus jugadores para lo que viene?
Bueno, primero que tenemos que pensar que estamos representando a nuestra bandera y que somos de 5 millones de habitantes, ellos son 12 los privilegiados de estar aquí en este evento y que es primordial el poner en alto nuestro nombre.
Among 12 million population, a population of 12 million in Nicaragua, there are 12 players who are privileged to represent Nicaragua. That's what he has to transmit to his players.
Y el sacrificio que hicieron, pues somos uno de los países que estábamos más largo y venimos por tierra. Y todo eso pues uno tiene que hacer para ver si ellos logran asimilarlo y sacar coraje para los siguientes partidos.
They have to understand that it was a big sacrifice to be here. They had a road trip, they didn't travel on plane, so it wasn't easy, and they have to acknowledge all those efforts.
Now, as we are getting ready for the second match of today, let's talk about the food issue, because your captain is saying that you guys had a situation with the food and some of the players got sick.
Tus jugadores, algunos están enfermos. Dijo el capitán que fue por la comida. ¿Qué tienes que decir al respecto?
Sí, anoche tuvimos 6 jugadores con diarrea y vómito. Fue después de la cena, pues solo eso habían ingerido ellos. Y pues esperando pues que ellos logren mejorarse, entre ellos el líbero que pasó toda la noche.
Okay. Yes, 6 players are ill with diarrhea and vomiting. It was after dinner, and well, they have to see how it develops. They're already taking medicine.
Coach, I want to wish you enough success in your next match.
Muchos éxitos.
Gracias.
And so here you have it from the coach of Nicaragua. But what I need to do now, I need to rush back to the broadcast booth as the second match is about to start.
Who said that deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions? Walk into any one of our central TV